And I think what's cool about this is that you're taking that multidimensional approach, but it's also helping refine how we make decisions for the things we choose to interact with. And you have some great perspectives on technology, its design, and how humans are using it. And there's a quote you had shared with me earlier. I want to go over this and I don't want to screw this up. So I wrote it on a pretty poor piece of paper. And it goes, the problem is not desire, it's that your desires are too small. And when we unpack that a little bit, we started to discuss it's the value of the desires. Now, for much of what we've created here on this planet in terms of technology and our systems and relationships, they've been transactional. The desire is to get something in return for the creation of something. The question is the value of life, even in the length of it, or the value of what you're getting out of the transactions with your technology, truly valueful for the community and yourself? And I don't think we've taken the time to have that self reflection in these conversations. I mean, we started with blades, right, in combat. I had to be very close to you. If survival is going to happen, it was going to happen here. But then when I started to create range, whether it be with the bow and then later to the technology of, say, a rifle, through gunpowder, now the distance of my decision making has now changed, my path. And now I optimize for this gap of space in between me and whatever that target may be. And from that, I'm going to create all my technology for the optimization of how I can now survive in a world with this space that exists. Now, for us, when we have taken this optimization path just for the technology and we've completely excluded the right side of the brain, what we find is that when this thing explodes, when this thing breaks down, this supposed system, we're not left with the proper tools to actually handle the world around us. It's almost like saying, it's like when you take the gun away, how many people are sufficient in hand to hand combat? Very few for their own survival, right? And how do you even navigate, systems of combat? How do you navigate all these different organisms coming together trying to survive now that they can't distance themselves? And technology has continually distanced us from each other.
And Bob May's point was in living systems, what we see is that above a certain threshold, the space of possible outcomes so far exceeds the ability of any strategy as encoded in the anatomy and behavior of organisms within that ecology to predict that eventually they undermine themselves. And
Mhm.
so what happens is in a period of ecological collapse, which is not a binary thing, there are always constraints in complex systems.